The Call of Duty franchise is no stranger to mobile gaming, but Call of Duty Mobile is different. It represents a concerted effort from Activision to make a mark on the notoriously difficult to crack and overcrowded mobile market, and it wants to bring in people for the long term. You won't find a campaign, but the multiplayer modes are substantial and even include a full battle royale. What's here is impressive, but the controls are iffy and it somewhat falls victim to free-to-play cliches. Thankfully, the microtransactions are easy to ignore, even if they do often remind you they're there. Using a touchscreen to control a shooter will never be on par with a controller, much less a keyboard and mouse. Aside from the inherent relative lack of speed and precision, you're also covering up part of the screen with your fingers. With that in mind, however, moving and firing a gun in Call of Duty Mobile is decent. Movement can be somewhat inconsistent with the virtual left analog stick, but aiming and firing feels generally okay. More detailed movement, like vaulting through a window, crouching behind cover, and tossing off a grenade are trickier, but standard shooting is satisfying. Arguably, the biggest barrier to comfortably controlling your soldier is the amount of on-screen icons. There are 20 buttons hovering around at all times in standard multiplayer and even more in Battle Royale. It makes the interface ugly, busy, and hard to get a handle on, but there isn't really a better way to do it when using a controller isn't an option. And bizarrely, it's not. Despite both Android and iOS now being capable of using standard Bluetooth controllers, neither version of Call of Duty Mobile officially offers support, which is just confusing. While Call of Duty Mobile's regular multiplayer modes are fun but familiar, the Battle Royale mode is the most impressive element. It's unlocked after you hit level 7 through standard multiplayer, which thankfully doesn't take too long to do. You can play in third or first person, each with their own matchmaking, and it generally runs well without slowdown or game-breaking bugs. It plays like a condensed version of Call of Duty Black Ops 4's Blackout mode with various class options, vehicles, and other bells and whistles. You'll have intense moments of crouching in a house with your gun aimed at the door while the safe zone closes around you, alongside the fun, absurd moments of getting in a helicopter with a group of 3 strangers and crashing it into the side of a mountain. This battle royale may be smaller compared to its peers, but it still produces the kind of moments and feelings the genre is known for despite that, which is impressive. Call of Duty Mobile is free to play, but outside of a handful of typical annoyances related to the model, the microtransactions are not overbearing or obnoxious. Starting it up prompts you with multiple reminders that you can use real money that must be dismissed, and unlocking new items shows additional items you would have gotten if you had bought the $10 Premium or $25 Elite Pass. Otherwise, spending money is pushed to the side just for those who want to do it. Playing normally nets frequent upgrades and unlocks, even though the pace of those rewards does slow a bit as you progress. Playing earns you credits to buy specific weapons, and you can periodically elect to watch ads for small unlocks without spending a dime. Alternatively, you can purchase COD points with real money to exchange for various guns, upgrades, and cosmetic items, but that doesn't feel necessary. Upgrades unlock various new attachments for your guns that incrementally improve things like damage or accuracy, but most of it just comes down to personal preference, like which kind of sights you prefer. Because most of the attachments upgrade your guns in small ways, and matchmaking is effective at grouping you with similarly skilled players, it is unlikely you will encounter phenomenally overpowered players that have unfair advantages simply by spending money, which is very important. Call of Duty Mobile represents the best the Juggernaut franchise has ever been on a handheld platform. The leveling path is rewarding, even without spending money, and there are lots of modes to jump around between, including an impressive Battle Royale mode. Unfortunately, it is still a shooter controlled by a touchscreen, and even though it was impressive considering that, the accuracy and usability will still never be as good as its console and PC counterparts. For more, check out a winning match of Battle Royale, plus our picks for the top 10 Call of Duty games of all time. And for everything else, stick with us right here at IGN.